In this video, you will see how I attempt to make Minecraft in Unity. This was my previous Minecraft clone, created without a game engine using mainly Java and OpenGL. Using just Java means I had to write many text files. But Unity is a game engine. It makes the process of game development a lot easier. Here, I just made this red player able to move in seconds. First, I'll create a simple Minecraft block with a texture placeholder. Using it, I created the first chunk, which is around 65,000 blocks. And already the game is struggling to reach our target of 60 FPS. Do you see how many blocks are rendered every frame? Each one lowers the FPS. The ones that are not visible do not need to be rendered. Something like this, look at how only the blocks on the outside are rendered. Just that tripled the frames per second to 120. Going from 1 to 25 chunks lowered the FPS again. This is because each visible block is a separate game object. It's the same as getting the groceries from the car in one go instead of going back and forth for each bag. Here I use a different technique to render one block. Using it, I can render a subchunk with a single game object. This way we can render a chunk with 99% less game objects. Like last time, let's increase the chunks to 25. Look how now we have 10 times more FPS. The technique is to create the game object through code, and then create the mesh on my own by providing array of vertices, UV coordinates, and indices. I added this texture atlas so we can use more block types. Do you notice this fuzzy look of the texture? Generating mipmaps removes it but creates another issue. This is the texture that is used for every block. Generating a mipmap creates lower resolution copies of the texture. Here are the lower resolution copies of our texture. We removed the fuzzy look, but you can notice how far off in the distance we get the wrong colors. The lowest resolution versions of the texture start using the same color for multiple block types, which are exactly the ones we saw. Back in Java, with this single line, I was able to solve it. It sets a limit to not go past this version, which is the last one before the colors start combining. Even in the Minecraft settings, you have the mipmap levels limited to 4. Sadly, I couldn't find a similar setting in Unity. The default render distance in Minecraft is 12, which using this formula equals to 625 chunks. The game handled the default render distance of 12 with around 70 FPS. I found a temporary fix for the weird colors in the distance. I replaced the generated mipmap with a custom one. It's temporary because it works only on grass blocks. We can increase the FPS even more if we stop rendering all of these blocks that are not visible to the player. See how there is nothing rendered anymore where we cannot see. The FPS tripled to 247. I brought in the game the player from the start of the video. The script for movement tells the character controller to move in the desired direction. Then I attach the camera to the player game object. Moving the mouse doesn't change where the player is looking. There is a simple script attached to the camera to handle looking around. We can look around now, but the player doesn't move where the camera is looking at. I only needed to take into account the camera rotation when calculating the desired move direction. And now the player moves wherever it is looking at. To get the flat terrain, I iterate over every block. If its y coordinate is 255, set it to grass, else set it to dirt. And this is the terrain we get with just one line change. It's this line. It defines a surface level. Before, the surface level was a constant 255. Sadly, the character is floating in the sky. Turns out I was calling move instead of simple move. And now we have gravity. I can move around and collide with the terrain, but I'm stuck in this hole forever because I cannot jump. Trees are tricky. If we are not careful, they end up like this. We start placing the tree in this subchunk, but the leaves end up in the other subchunk where we don't have access to place blocks. To add trees, here is the code I came up with. When a grass block is placed, there is a 1 in 600 chance I tell the block spawner to put in a queue a bunch of leaves and trunk blocks. The block spawner is a class that has a queue of blocks to place. After the terrain is generated, I tell the block spawner to place all the blocks from its queue. To make the leaves transparent, I only need to enable alpha clipping. There should be more leaves, but they are not showing because the optimizations from the very start of the video. Instead of checking if the neighbor is of block type air, I check if it's just transparent. And that solved the problem with the trees. For adding user interface, Unity has created this canvas game object. As a child, I created this image game object with a crosshair texture. Just like that, now we have the crosshair in the center of the screen. By left-clicking, I can now destroy any block I point to. Unity offers this raycast function that gives me the location of the block I'm looking at. To remove it on left-click after finding its chunk and local position, I set its block type to air. Why is it that when I break a block, the neighbor has its side missing? It's because of this line. I set only the subchunk of the block to redraw. You can clearly see the neighboring blocks with missing side are not part of the subchunk of the block I removed. But if I now break a block from their subchunk, the missing sides show. So I just set for redraw any of the neighboring subchunks based on a few conditions that we don't need to go into. I tried adding a right hand, but do you see how it jitters when I move? Moving the hand to have the camera as apparent instead of the player solved it. Absolutely no jitter now, smooth as butter. I imported the Steve model, hopefully I can use his right hand. Well, I have the Steve right hand, but it looks weird from the outside. I can also see the body if I look down. I can no longer see the body if I look down, but others can still see me. To achieve this, I created a layer just for the body, then set the camera to ignore that layer. For the hand animation, I played in slow motion a screen recording and made screenshots of each unique frame so I can replicate it. This is best I could do in Unity looking at the screenshots. And I made it play when I just left click. For the block hover, I used this line renderer component. Then I made it move to the block I'm currently looking at. Do you notice how the lines have missing parts? With a custom shader, this is how it looks like now. It moves the lines slightly away from their initial position, so they don't overlap with the hovered block. Then I added a hotbar at the bottom of the screen. I'm trying to position this cube in the hotbar so I can later do the same with code to show picking up a block. Problem is, I cannot get it in front of the UI. My solution that I came up with is to use a separate camera and have it output what it's seeing to a texture. Then I can use it in the UI as a raw image. And here is the block visible above the hotbar in 3D. Sadly, making changes to it show up in real time. To save performance, it would be cool if I can screenshot it. I quickly modeled a grass block in Blockbench and imported it into Unity so I can replace the old block. After screenshotting the texture, I removed the background. Now I have a grass block in my hotbar. Wait, what is that gray line above the hotbar? Most likely it's left over from the background that I tried to remove. And there it is. Removed. I added font to show how many blocks I've destroyed so far. Pressing the right mouse button, I can now place blocks. And now I've set a limit to place blocks if I have any. The hand animation got into an infinite loop, but is now fixed. And time is up. I worked on this for about 20 hours as promised. We got terrain, UI, a hand, block breaking and placing, a hotbar, block hover, trees. The game is running well above the 60 FPS and at the default render distance of 12.